Your brain is being rewired right now, not by a disease, not by age, by something you do every single day without thinking about it. And the terrifying part is most people will never find out what it is until the damage is already done. Today we are going to talk about the one silent habit that is quietly reshaping your brain structure, destroying your focus, weakening your memory, and making deep thinking feel almost impossible. And more importantly, exactly what to do to reverse it before it goes any further. But first you need to understand one critical thing. Your brain is not a fixed organ. It is plastic. It rewires itself constantly based on what you repeatedly do. Every single habit you have, good or bad, is physically carving new pathways into your brain. This is called neuroplasticity, and it works in both directions. You can build a sharper, stronger, more focused brain, or you can slowly damage it. Every day, one small decision at a time. Most people are choosing the second option without knowing it. Here is the silent habit that is causing it. Context switching. Every time you move from one task to another, from work to phone, from reading to notifications, from thinking to scrolling, your brain pays a cost. Neuroscientists call this the switching cost. Research from the University of California found that after a single interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes for the brain to fully return to its original task. 23 minutes. From one notification, one quick check, one small distraction that felt completely harmless. Most people are not switching once. They are switching hundreds of times every single day. Every time you pick up your phone for no reason. Each one triggers a switching cost your brain has to pay. And those costs add up faster than you think. And your brain adapts to this. That is the real problem. When you switch context constantly, your brain does not stay confused. It gets better at switching. It becomes an expert at moving between tasks rapidly. It starts expecting constant input. It starts craving the next stimulus before the current one is even finished. And slowly, quietly, without your permission, that becomes your brain's new normal. That rewiring has three devastating consequences most people never connect to their daily habits. Consequence 1. Deep thinking becomes painful. Your brain has two modes: fast, shallow thinking and slow, deep thinking. Deep thinking is where real learning happens, where complex problems get solved, where creativity lives, where memory gets formed. Deep thinking is where everything that actually matters in life gets done. But deep thinking requires sustained attention. It requires your brain to stay with one thing long enough to go below the surface. When your brain gets rewired for constant switching, it loses the ability to drop into deep thinking easily. Every time you try to focus on something difficult, your brain immediately searches for an exit. Sitting with one hard problem starts feeling physically uncomfortable. That discomfort is not weakness. It is your rewired brain resisting the mode it was never trained to stay in. Consequence 2. Your memory gets weaker. Memory is not formed during experience. It is formed during consolidation, the process where your brain takes information from short-term storage and locks it into long-term memory. That process requires mental rest and sustained focus. When your brain is constantly switching, it never gets the uninterrupted processing time it needs to consolidate properly. Information comes in and gets lost before it can stick. You read something and forget it an hour later. You have a conversation and cannot remember what was said. You study for hours and retain almost nothing. That is not laziness. That is a brain that never got quiet enough to lock anything in. Consequence 3. Your baseline stimulation threshold rises. Every time you switch to something more stimulating, your brain registers the dopamine hit. Over time, your brain recalibrates its baseline. Normal levels of stimulation stop feeling like enough. Reading feels slow. Conversations feel boring. Work feels painful. Silence feels like something is wrong. And that recalibration quietly makes everything meaningful feel meaningless. This is what constant context switching does to your brain over months and years. It does not happen dramatically. It happens silently. One notification at a time. One tab at a time. One unnecessary phone check at a time. And by the time most people notice something is wrong, they have already spent years letting it happen. So how do you reverse it? Step 1. Understand that your attention is a trainable muscle. The same neuroplasticity that allowed constant switching to rewire your brain can rewire it back. Your brain responds to repetition. If you repeatedly practice sustained focus, your brain will adapt to sustained focus. If you repeatedly resist the urge to switch, your brain will get better at staying. This is not motivation. This is biology working in your favor for once. Step 2. Start with structured focus blocks. Pick one task. Set a timer for 25 minutes. No phone, no tabs, no switching, just one thing. When the urge to switch arrives, and it will arrive strongly at first, do not act on it. Notice it. Let it pass. Keep going. That moment of resistance is the training. That is exactly where the rewiring happens. Not in the absence of distraction. In the presence of distraction and the conscious choice not to follow it. Start with 25 minutes once a day. Build to twice a day. Then 3 times. Your brain will resist at first. That resistance is not failure. That resistance is proof it is working. Step 3. Create hard boundaries around context switching. Turn off all non-essential notifications permanently. Not on silent. Off. Check messages and emails at specific set times, not constantly throughout the day. When you are working, work. When you are resting, rest. Do not mix the two. The mixing is exactly what trains your brain to switch. Every time you check your phone mid-task, you are reinforcing the habit. Every time you finish the task before checking, you are breaking it. Step 4. Reintroduce boredom deliberately. Sit without your phone sometimes. Walk without music or podcasts. Eat without a screen. Let your brain experience low-stimulation environments regularly. This is not wasted time. This is recalibration. Every time you tolerate boredom without reaching for stimulation, you lower your brain's baseline threshold back toward normal. Simple activities start feeling rewarding again. Focus becomes easier. Silence stops feeling wrong. Your brain starts recovering the ability to be present without needing constant input to feel okay. Step 5. Protect your morning from switching. The first 30 minutes after waking, your brain is in a highly programmable state. Whatever stimulus pattern you expose it to in that window sets the neurological tone for the entire day. If the first thing your brain does every morning is switch rapidly between notifications, messages, and content, you are training it to spend the whole day in switching mode. Protect the first 30 minutes. No phone, no content, no switching. Just let your brain wake up in a low-stimulation environment before the world starts demanding your attention. Step 6. Track your switching honestly. Most people have no idea how often they actually switch. Tomorrow, every time you pick up your phone mid-task, every time you open a new tab without finishing the last one, every time you shift away from what you were doing, make a note. Just a tally mark. Most people reach 50 or more switches before noon. Seeing the number makes the habit real. And making it real is the first step to changing it. Here is the truth most people never face. The habit is not dramatic. It does not feel like damage. It feels normal. It feels like staying connected. It feels like being productive. It feels like just checking something quickly. But repeated thousands of times across months and years, it quietly rebuilds your brain into something that struggles to think deeply, remember clearly, and focus long enough to do anything that actually matters. Your brain is always adapting. The question is, what is it adapting to right now? Every time you choose to stay with one task, instead of switching, you are casting a vote for a sharper brain. Every time you put the phone down and sit with silence, you are recalibrating toward focus. Every time you resist the urge to check and keep working, you are undoing months of damage one decision at a time. The silent habit that is rewiring your brain without your permission is not something that happens to you. It is something you do, which means it is also something you can stop. Start today. One focus block, one hard boundary, one moment of chosen boredom. That is how the rewiring begins. And that is how you take your brain back.